her the
Yeah, I brought swimming goggles to wear under the pen thing, so like my eyes wouldn't get smashed.
Which is why
I tried so hard to like split the back.
Yes,
so,
we
like
tried
everything just didn't happen.
You have a very round head. If I shaved your head, it'd be round. If I took your skull out of your body, it would be round.
Such a big brain in there.
Yeah. So anyway, so in reality, who is in that suit but my other Asian?
The other Asian.
Can't you? With the smaller head. Loser. How about her picture? She has a splendid head. Anyway, what's your question?
Are there any plans or what you're...
Oh, excellent. I love them. I wanted to bring them back for this season, but there was just clearly 8 million people. We had 125 speaking parts, so not really able to do that. But I might have a little bit of a plan for them, you know. And we don't, necessarily have a season 6 because we're in the middle of this one. We have to see how people watch it on Xbox and MSN, So we'll see if we get a pickup, cross fingers. And, but yeah, those characters are always in the back of my mind. I'd love to explore them more. It's just the time and the place, for them. Thanks, applause for it.
Hello.
Hi.
Real quick, you guys are awesome, but you already know that. My question is, as an avid con-goer, I'm wondering if the most recent season, if you took any inspiration from any particular conventions or writing from, and what was the inspiration to make the season about the convention?
I've always wanted to do a convention season because the show has been built by conventions. I remember when we went to our first convention in 2008. It was Comic-Con 2008, and I brought bookmarks and I was giving them to people outside, how the buskers do, like the amazing do it, and nobody would, a lot of people would not take them. They were like, what is this? What's a web series? What are these people? So, that's literally built our show fan by fan, and it keeps us going, being able to, have merchandise and bring cast places. It really has been a huge part of our show. So I wanted to, and I didn't see anything else out there, any movies or anything that really represented what I saw for conventions. My funnest convention ever was, and I'm not saying this just to kind of move from here, but my funnest convention ever was DragonCon 2009 because. That is less kind of looky-looey for celebrities and like, hey, here's a free bag as big as your face. Here, beat somebody up for it. It's about all the corporate stuff that's at Comic-Con and more about just fans being awesome and, our ability to just walk around and be like, hey, we're not, we're just kind of enjoying the con and just taking pictures of people in costumes and just being, just being a fan. Our ability to do that here is unique because, just everybody, it's just such an equal playing field. I love that.
That was really neat last night because we were able to walk around and take pictures.
But not being, people were like, we told them, we're not taking pictures, we're just taking pictures of other people.
About it, though. Everyone was cool about it. Everyone was like,
Yeah, people were like,
what were they going to I can't do that.
Yeah, we just want to be fans with other fans. We were talking to people, just like regular.
Spot for us.
Yeah. And there's just something really unique about the size of this convention, being able to retain that sort of spirit, and it's all about the people who come here. So, we couldn't have, of course, thousands of people at our show. We did have over 250 extras come from our Twitter account just to show up and make it look like a real convention. And, we had fan involvement from A to Z. We had a guy just donate all the signs from Tennessee. We crowdsourced a lot of stuff, and it was completely built by fans, and just like our show is. So it was really my homage to how awesome cons are, that they give you a place to really share your passions with people who, have something in common with you. So we'll see what the season brings.
I think it's done accurately. Love this.
Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm taking this really cool. It's so funny. Hi, you look amazing. Take a picture.
My question for you is I actually
Wait, right over here. Can you move? I just stopped for a second. Thank you.
Started to stop, right? I can't stop.
Okay.
We got it, thank you.
Anyways, I work at Epic as a tester, and yeah, yesterday my cast teased me that he invited you to come to our panel and steal the controller away from someone or something. Anyway, I was wondering, do you play shooters like there's War or others, first person or third person, or is it just more like MMO genre or RPGs?
Me personally, I play a little bit of shooter. I mean, I love Left 4 Dead more than anything. There's nothing better than playing 4-player co-op with Sean Becker, our director, Jeff Lewis, and Edgar Garcia, our webmaster. And have Jeff Lewis profanity just screaming in my ear. Find the rear! Why are you finding the rear?
I've never asked to play. I've never gotten an invite ever.
Have you ever played Left 4 Dead?
No, but I don't want to. What if I want to? What if I... What?
Deal with this trauma later. Yay. I play Gears a lot, and I love the fact they have a girl character for this Gears 3, so that's very cool to me. And I love when I play a shooter, I'd love to play like with somebody in the other room. Like I played Gear 3 with Sean Becker, the director, and he came over and we were doing co-op when we were supposed to be working. And that's a really great game because one person has the magical abilities and one person's more of a shooter. And that was fun because we were just sitting side by side. So I like the cooperative, but I don't like playing, against other people like PvP. It's not really my deal, but it's a lot of other people like it. Robin Thorsen kicked my butt and he let me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I know somebody won a walk-on talking part on eBay for a whole lot of good money for charity and all that good stuff. Have they been in the series yet? Are they coming in? Or I just don't want to miss it. I feel like that's really cool.
What was the finale? Yeah, it's the finale. That guy's in the finale. Or a woman. Yeah, he gets a really nice shout out, that guy. I custom tailored something for him. So, and that's really cool. It's really cool to be able to do charity. But we have a big charity project that's going to be launched, episode 10, that you guys are going to be very excited about. So just stay tuned for our Twitter or our Facebook.
Thanks for dressing up as me.
It looks really cute.
It's amazing. I think it's funny that you would get mad when people would, not many people dress up as Felecia at the conventions, but Amy would get kind of pissed. Like,
I was sad
Where's
yesterday
she?
because I'm a CFT, so there are so many Claires and Codas. So we saw a team today.
We saw her.
and then now it's like,
There she is. There's the team.
Yeah.
We didn't meet you. You gotta come up to the table. Just come on. Because she's very whiny. She is.
I was just wondering, what advice would you give to someone who's making their own web series? I know it's submitting to the Webbies, but it just seems like the market has become so oversaturated that it's kind of hard to find your niche. So,
Yeah, we're gonna do a web series panel tomorrow, so that might be a better question to do there because it's a very long question to answer. I don't know what time the panel is. It's at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And Kimmy's going to be on the panel with me because I'm drafting her. So if you have any web series questions, like logistics like that, that's probably the best place to ask us. But in short, I think a lot of people just kind of expect to upload something and have it be a hit. And the challenge with web series is that you're a channel among millions. So 90% of your work comes after you make a product that people want to watch, and you know exactly where those people are on the internet to be able to target them. And it requires a lot of persistence. It's 90% of your work, and it requires like a zealotry that you bug everybody every day about it. You put guild bookmarks and passwords on toilets. That's what I did. I literally handed it to my dentist. You have to be crazy persistent, and hopefully with new technology, just being out there and doing things and just keeping making consistent content, that's kind of the key. So yeah, just ask more questions tomorrow, but I would say that that's it. 90% of your work is after you make your videos.
Thank you.
hey,
from the beginning. Hello from the Guild of Extras.
Guild of Extras is a Twitter account
Steve are the only people that have not been asked to do it. So,
Sam has a lot of issues today.
I do.
Someone summarize that list, right?
No, but I actually talked to Sean Becker about this already, who's the director of the Guild and Just show. And he said that they're gonna try.
You can't guarantee you a spot next to you.
No, he said he will, but I mean, I'm not gonna, expect anything because I was expecting something season 1 and it didn't happen, so I just don't want to get my hopes up, but hopefully.
I mean, he did eat a poop. Yeah, the Jeff Lewis 5-Minute Comedy Hour is another project of Jess, and it's hilarious, but very, very profane.
Yeah.
He eats a poop, like a literal human poop. I mean, not a real poop, but it was a fake poop. It looked like a, whatever, just watch it. But, not later, you watch it. Yeah, it's very funny.
I'll hope to see you guys.
Yeah, me too.
I'll have fun with it.
Okay, no more. No more whining.
No, you're not whining. You're just expressing your pleasure.
First, I did want to thank you for all the charity work that you do in auctions and stuff. I have one of the 2 Spires of Dragon on posters.
Yes.
I have it nicely framed. It's over my piano for inspiration. So.
Oh, thank you. That's very cool.
And I also wanted to ask, since Lance Henriksen's here, is there any chance of an impromptu curry fever panel?
Sometimes people will come up with interesting DVDs of my past work. And I just want to say publicly, sometimes you have to work. All I can say about that. No. We should do a drinking game for that. Whenever I do a Bible verse, which was the only, I had to learn like pages and pages of Bible verses for that character.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of that movie. I can't wait to watch it.
Well, Jillian Arnauté, who is the middle steampunker, who I didn't write the part for her, but I kind of did because Candy, my producer, knows her too, and she's in that movie too, and we have funny stories about it. No, I can't tell you.
Hello.
Hey there.
You have a good
Sorry?
You have a good voice.
Oh, well, thank you. I just wanted to say when I first started watching the show, I loved how irritating and one-dimensional the characters were.
Or you?
In a good way. In a good way.
Oh, I'm being trolled.
I just wanted to know if the characters were based off of other players that you game with, or if it's someone that characters you direct yourself.
I wrote them myself, and I wrote them kind of based on people who I played with in online games. I wrote 2 parts for the characters, worked as a Zabu. I wrote those for the actors because I thought they were so funny in our improv classes. And then I knew I needed a mom character because I played a lot of moms and a young teen, clearly. And then I wanted to, have another girl character, so I created Tank. And, I tried to represent everyone that I've interacted with over the years. So, the broad spectrum of gaming. So, that's how I came up with the characters.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We interrupt this program for a special announcement.
Being encouraged to boo?
Say hello to that guy.
Yeah, you try it.
Hey, I'm glad you guys are here. Glad you're enjoying the con. I wanted to ask, I know everybody in the show has varying degrees with association with gaming, especially you two. Like, how has the show changed your association with gaming and MMOs? And, do you think it's weird that people come and dress up as you, or do you
what? That was a good. I think it's incredible. It's surreal that this little web series that, it was your first gig too, Amy. Like, it was my first acting, anything out of college, and I don't think any of us had an idea of what this show was going to be. The fact that you put your heart and soul in it, we showed up. I mean, you made it what it is today. I mean, and the fans as well. But we're getting asked to go to these conventions and
years ago, I didn't even want to do it. When I first got
Tell the
it,
story. I didn't learn this until the last convention we did. She told the story of you that I just learned last convention. It's really funny, actually. It's really funny.
Well, my agent sent me on this audition. She said it's for a pilot, and I was like, oh cool. They had, pilot, you think television pilot, and we're like, oh my god, I love this. This is amazing. I was like, there's a lot of curse words. I hope it's okay for TV. And then I found out it's an unpaid YouTube video. And I had to go to our very first table reader rehearsal the morning after my senior prom. And I was so hungover and so not wanting to do it. I was like, I'm not even getting paid for this. Why am I even here? But can you imagine if I did do it and some other Asian girl sitting here? It might have been Kim Eby. I would have been so upset, but we never. Did you know it was going to be like this? Did you expect it to be like this? Did you aim for it to be like this?
I mean, every step of the way we've just been inventing with the tools we had at our, but I guess at the bottom of it, I had such faith in what I did that other people would enjoy it. I really knew. My brother, who's the typical internet guy, he's number one to find every meme ever. He'll link it within the first, 1,000 hits, and it'll go viral. So whenever I send something to my brother, I know the internet will like it. He's my bellwether. And when he's like, yeah, it's funny, I'm like, yes, people will like this. So I just really had faith in it, and it gave me such fulfillment. I was like, just because a couple people don't like this, or people say people aren't, gamers, or a couple of internet trolls, make up a dog face, I'm not going to stop doing what I love doing, because this is really making my life richer than I've ever had it before. And I wanted to kind of infuse that into everyone else as well. And every step of the way, I just, make sure that everything gets taken care of as much as we can based on our budgets. And, we've come a long way, and it's all thanks to, our determination to stick around and you guys enjoying us, watching us. It's basically as simple as that. I think you're out there.
You guys have had a lot of stuff happen on the show, so I was wondering what your favorite or proudest geek moment was in this series so far.
You mean scripted or just happened to us at all?
Whatever. If it was something that was scripted where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe we got to geek out like that, yes. Or if it was just something that happened.
Oh, you have one. Tell your story. Tell your story. Tell your story.
We can't say it, but okay,
spoil it.
But so
I know. Okay, my friend, I'm happy to have worked on Dollhouse with Eliza, and I saw her at an event, and she was with Rick Fox, her boyfriend, who I just was like, hey Rick, what's up? And she learned that I had met him, and she literally started crying, sobbing, because I said, hey, yeah, Rick watches The Guild, and she was like, Rick Fox, and tears pouring out. I'm not exaggerating. This is not exaggeration. Tears pouring down her face. I was like, yeah, I gave him a signed picture. Tears pouring down her face.
And at San Diego Comic-Con, literally every single person in the Guild, director, everybody ran into him at least 3 times throughout the weekend, except me.
Because she had to go buy shoes at some point.
Oh gosh. And then everyone just started texting me pictures with him and tweeting it, even Will on him.
We just randomly saw us tweeting back and forth. It was like, hey, Amy.
Hey, look who my new best friend is. And I tweeted a picture of him and her boss. But you guys, I met him yesterday. I was crying and laughing. I couldn't even say anything that I wanted to say to him. I was crying and trying to laugh, so I covered it up. And what made me cry was that he saw me and he knew about this huge joke. And he goes, "Oh my God, is that Amy?" And I was like, "Oh my God." It's a trigger, man. If you didn't know my name, I don't think I would have cried. But you knew my name. So yeah, that was my huge. I would never cry ever. I don't even think I would cry if I met Corey Monteith, but something about, the Lakers, I just,
touches your soul.
Yeah.
He said my Neil Gaiman. When I saw Neil Gaiman at Comic-Con, I was like, why am I wearing a corset right now? He actually liked it.
I think when I found out that I got to work with Jeff Jones,
him on the email list. I'm like, well, what could it hurt? He could just block me. And I would send him updates about the guild. And I think we had like 5, 6 episodes up by the time the strike happened. He had a mutant enemy strike day. He had everybody marching with him. And I was like, hey, Joss, what? Did you see my web show? Not the gig. He's like, yeah, I watched all the episodes. I'm thinking about doing something myself. And that's what he told me about, his plans for Dr. Horrible. And I was so floored. But yeah. I was so shocked that he had actually paid attention to this actress's, email that had, worked on his show in a very frank manner. That it was just an amazing, it just kind of did a testament that, he checks his email and he's a cool like you're out there.
Kind of big baggage people.
I found bed rest last night. So much better. I found baggage people. I stopped bed rest. Made sweet raspberry.
I was just wondering, you talked a bit about how you wrote the characters and designed the group when you were writing the guild to begin with. But how did you get the whole cast together?
I wrote the parts for Zabu and Bork because we did improv together at this little theater that's now closed. But they were always the people who made me laugh on stage and break character, which is not good for improv. But I was like, I like those guys. And then we had a casting, and like Amy said, there was a casting. People submitted people, but not very many people submitted people. It was non-union. It was a web series. Nobody knew what that was at the time. And we got, we still got several dozen people for each role. And when these guys, if you ever casting, somebody walks into the room and you just know. You just know that they're perfect. And there was no question in my mind when they came in. They just, close your mic in your ears. Everybody was just fantastic. Now, they were really good, and they walked in and they just owned what was in my head. And it actually added stuff, because Blades, I never expected him to be I was expecting him to be like Ricky Schroeder-ish, with like bleached hair. And then when Vince came in with a completely different take from my head, I was like, wow, that guy's the best. So, and this season, I don't know, episode 8, I said on my Twitter, yes, episode 6 is the best episode in the history of the Guild. I just saw it kind of episode 8, and you guys are going to think I'm lying, but it's 12 minutes long. There's no way to make it shorter because it's literally scene after scene are the best scenes that we've done, I think. And we have some things that are just going to blow your mind. Like, you thought that 6 was crazy, like 8 is crazier. So in 2 weeks, and next week's episode is amazing too, but